Okay, y'all, breaking news, breaking news. We have a new witness that just came forward, y'all. This new witness is basically saying something different than what Nolan friends are saying. And it's a doozy, y'all. We're about to talk about it, Lord, oh Lord, oh Lord. We're about to talk about it. And from what this friend said, it inspired me to go put some stuff in Gematria just to see what would pop up. And y'all not going to believe what just popped up. So let's get to it, y'all. Hello and welcome to my channel. Please like, share, and subscribe if you like this video. And thank you all so much for watching. Thank you to my day ones, twos, threes, and fours. Thank you so very much. I appreciate you all and welcome, welcome, welcome. This video is for entertainment and educational purposes only, so everything is alleged, some is not, and the fair accuse is in my description box, y'all. So let's get to it, y'all. Let's get to it, y'all. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. A new witness just came forward. And this new witness that's coming forth is saying something totally different than what his friends were saying, y'all. And we are about to talk about it all. Okay? Now, these are the guys that they claim he went on the island with, but these are all the people that was on the boat. But these are the only ones that they act like was on the boat at first. Then we found out later that there were 3 boatloads of youngins. Okay? All going to this island together. They were all together. So we found out later through audio and stuff like that, by accident, somebody just, messing around with the audio, and here's somebody called one of the other people name, and then we found out somebody else was on there. Well, word on the street, this witness just came forward. This witness said that Nolan got jumped right after they took his phone. Y'all, was this premeditated? If this is true, what this person is saying that just came forward, I don't know who it is, okay? I'm sure everybody gonna start talking about it, okay? But if this is true, and, a witness was out there, and they said that as soon as they took his phone, a pause session took place. He was jumped. Do we believe that person, or do we believe the friend who said that wasn't even Nolan arguing when we heard the audio of him saying, give me my MF phone back? Remember the friend came forward and lied and said, that wasn't even Nolan arguing, that was me. Remember that? Well, according to this new witness, they're saying that his friends is lying. His friend is lying. And his black friend at that, y'all. Okay? Y'all. This kid came out and said that wasn't even Nolan fighting. Now, y'all remember when Ben Crump came forth and said that was Nolan. Now, if it's your mother listening to your voice, your mother or your daddy should be able to tell if that's your voice or not, saying, give me my effing phone back, right? Ben Crump said that was Nolan asking for his phone back. The friend came out, contradicted what Ben Crump said, and said, no, that was me in an altercation. That wasn't, Nolan wasn't even nowhere around. Now, I questioned the friend when he said Nolan wasn't nowhere around, because why would Nolan be around? Everybody else was there. Where was Nolan? And how did you know that Nolan wasn't around? If you in an altercation arguing with somebody and some stuff going on, how do you know out of all them people out there if Nolan is somewhere in the vicinity? He said Nolan wasn't nowhere around. This is what the black kid said, y'all. To the right, the one that his mama nudged him. Is he lying, y'all? Possibility. Now, a lot of people are saying, no. And I saw this in the comment section of somebody saying this. They said, there's no way that this new witness is telling the truth. Whoever this new witness is, they're lying. This is what they're saying. Because they're saying that according to the autopsy report, the second one that was done, y'all remember when Ben Crump came out there, he said that there were no bruising on the body. Right, y'all? There was no bruising on Nolan's body as if he was in a fight. And people are saying that no, this new witness is lying too. See how I tell y'all this, there's some truth coming out, and then there's some that's not. And then the stuff that's not, people are right away saying, no, 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 no. But he could have been in a fight. He could have been in a fight, y'all. When a man that likes to put paws on women is in a relationship with them, some men would not put paws on their face because they don't want people to know what's going on behind closed doors. Is it a possibility that they didn't hit him in his face at all? Could it be a possibility that this was premeditated and they possibly went for certain areas? You know those, K to the I-L-L shots. You know what I'm saying, y'all? Is it a possibility that Nolan was struck in the neck purposely during an altercation? Now, I'm going to ask y'all a question. And in order to catch some people, you got to think like some people. You have to get in their mindset. If you are a bully and you are a jealous bully and you're around Nolan, and Nolan is, the way people say that he was a good kid, he was put on this pedestal, just like Carmelo Anthony, same situation. People was crazy about these kids. They were respectable and stuff like that, according to what everybody was saying. The videos we saw him trying to break up altercations and all of that stuff. He wasn't about that rowdiness, but he still liked to be around certain people that were rowdy. But he stood neutral according to what people been saying. We don't know, so we have to say allegedly because we don't know none of these people, okay? But just think about it for a second. If you had people, and y'all saw Warren ears, they spreading from, y'all see how they spread, okay? North to south, y'all saw it. It's not a surprise that they wouldn't be jealous of Nolan. All the ladies was all up under him all the time and after him and around him, and they was crazy about him. It's not far-fetched that these guys wouldn't be jealous. There are black kids that be around each other. There are family members that's jealous of each other. So you think that these college students, they're seeing this guy coming up to, Nolan was going into the second year of college, my understanding. All of these guys that he was around, they were either getting ready to go to college or already in college or whatever. You think they wasn't jealous of him? Think again. You think that they wasn't saying dirty stuff behind his back if his friends really, that he thought was his friend, really wasn't his friends? I'm saying if they really wasn't his friends. If they had any kind of animosity toward him and didn't like him and this and that and this, you talk about guys that's getting high, getting drunk, and all of that. Allegedly, this is what we're hearing. Rowdy. You think they didn't laugh and talk about breaking Nolan off? And possibly one of their little things probably could have been, if this is a group that don't really like you, look what stands out on Nolan. Look at him. That Adam's apple is sitting out there, y'all. There's no denying that Adam apple, okay? What if they thing was, I can't wait to push it back in the back of his neck? Okay, y'all? You gotta think like them to catch them. Okay, y'all? What if that's what was the target in the first place? To go after his neck? We're talking about, hear me out. We're talking about a group of kids that's smart, possibly. They're going to the best schools and this and that and this. Spoiled, rotten kids, just spoiled rotten. They got everything just handed to them on a silver platter, basically. Getting wasted, doing whatever it is they want to do. They got parents as judges and stuff like that, can get away with whatever they feel. If they do something, they can get away with it. You think they just started getting away with stuff? I don't think so. There's a possibility that they was getting away with stuff. Look at how other kids that you don't went to school with, they get away with certain stuff, so other people don't. Especially if they got ties to people that know people and people. You know what I'm saying, y'all? They get away with stuff. Okay, y'all? What if that was the object in the first place? Hit him in the neck. Somebody else said something similar to what this witness just said, that there was an altercation, but they said that it happened at the judge's house or somebody. You remember that? That it went back, the party left the island and went to a pool party. And there was an altercation, and they said that, Nolan was, throwing up BLOOD. What if that person was lying? But this really did happen, but it happened on that island. And like I said before, when I put in that island, 187 popped up there. So I think it happened on that island, y'all. My personal opinion. I think it happened on that island. And like I said, one thing about white boys and stuff like that, they into video games, they into martial arts, stuff like that, and they love, y'all, to show off and wrestle with each other and show off their moves that they, learn, because a lot of their parents put them through some type of karate class and stuff like that. A lot of them. Now, what if, y'all, ask yourself this question. There's a move out here. It's called the thumbless fist. And it's a lot of guys that try this out on each other. Don't ask me why, because this is something that it just puts people down. This move. You put your thumbs in a upward position. You can't close it like like a closed fist. You put that thumb up like that, and it's called a thumbless fist. And a lot of these kids run around and do this. And if they're playing and doing this on each other just to see, the effect that it'll cause on somebody, just doing a little tap on your throat and your neck right there. If people be playing around and do this, and they be in excruciating pain, and they just playing, what do you think it does to a person when you're not playing? Ask yourself this question. If you want to take somebody down, show just how weak they are and how fast that you could drop them. And they ain't even going to do much back. That's when you want to stop a person in their tracks. When you use this thumbless fist move. Okay? And there's a guy on YouTube that talks about this. The thumbless fist. And they talk about how that if you want to do some serious harm to somebody, this is the move that you use on somebody. They talks about this on YouTube, y'all. They talk about it. You can look it up. This is what these kids are into. What if he used this move on Nolan? Now, mind you, the person that just came out and said that Nolan was jumped, act as if Nolan was jumped by more than one person. And this is why somebody in the comment section said, how if he ain't had no bruises on him? If somebody in the front of him hit him in the neck, you ain't gonna have no bruises on your face. And if your neck is missing, ain't nobody gonna know they did that. That's one. Number two, there's a video game out here of like some twins that, fights one person. And one hits the person in the neck, and the other hits the person in the back of the head. And it's a video game that does that, y'all. Is this what was used on Nolan as to why there were not too many bruising on him? On the neck and in the back of the head. And if y'all think I'm lying, look at the way this guy is coming at his neck. This is the video game. One in the front, one in the back. One hits them in the neck in the front. One hits them in the back of the head. We know these people are in the video games, y'all. Is this how it went down? Is this why Nolan don't have any bruising on his body outside of the back of his head and his neck missing? Ask yourself this question, y'all. Thumbless fist. This is the move. In reduction, it comes to 47.74. That's the day that Nolan Wells passed away, allegedly. Okay, y'all? Not only is 74 popping up. But 187 is right here as well, y'all. 187. And I was like, wow, that it also equals 173. And y'all remember 173 was coming in a lot of the numbers. Now I want y'all to also think about this. Nolan Wells passed away on the 185th day of the year, with 180 days left, y'all. Okay? I want y'all to pay attention to that too. That's so important. 158 is right here too. This is crazy on so many levels. If you put in thumbless fist, 173, neck equals 173. His neck is missing, y'all. Is this how they took Nolan out? And ask yourself this question. And when I started doing some more numbers and I started thinking, I said, could these younger kids that he came there with be protecting somebody older that actually did this to Nolan? That got sloppy, slouchy, drunken hat out there and start acting a fool with Nolan. And are these children protecting this person because of who it is, y'all? Who is the person that actually did it? I'm just saying, y'all. We don't know who these older people out there were. Them older guys that were getting into, arguments and stuff like that. Not just the ones that was, Nolan age. There were older guys out there too. Y'all know how they get when they get wasted. Okay. 173 also equals Black Lives Matter. Okay. Ain't that something? Neck under thumbless fist. And the date that he passed away on that day of the year, 185th day of the year. I just thought that was important. I was like, wow, that's kind of weird. Then I put in Nolan hit with thumbless fist. The 11 popped up off the top, which I was like, okay, 7 plus 4 equals 11. So that could be a plus there. But I also noticed 603. You don't count 0 in Gematria, which 36, y'all. Nolan Wells passed away July the 4th. His birthday is coming up. His birthday is 36 days apart from the day he passed. That could go 36. Was that how they got him? Ask yourself this question. July the 4th, 2026 to August 9th is supposed to be his birthday. 36 days apart. Okay? Was the people who took out Nolan Wells older? Y'all, when I put that up, 187 popped up again. Not only did 187 pop up, but 100 and first of all, it popped up twice. 187, 187. Now, I want y'all to pay attention to these two numbers right here. This is so very important. And I put this in twice. I put, was the people who took out, Nolan Wells older or younger? That's what I put in. And when I put in older, 187 came up twice. And these two numbers right here, 158 and 180, came up. And I was like, oh my God, this is crazy. How in the world does this pop up like this? Nolan Wells passed away July the 4th, which was the 185th day of the year. 365 days in the year. 180 days left. Do you see this, y'all? This popped up under Nolan being taken out by somebody older. Are these kids covering for somebody else? I keep telling y'all, it seemed like they were told to, block this and do that. It seemed like they were told. If everybody's looking at the kids, nobody's looking at everybody else that was out there. And this is why this is so important for this page, because what if it's somebody else that did it and the kids is covering for them? You know what I'm saying, y'all? What if? What if it was more than one person? I know it's saying Bart or something like that in the background, but what if Bart wasn't the only one? If Bart played a part at all? What if Bart wasn't the only one? Was they doing that move off that video game? One person in the front, one person in the back. He got a red spot in the back of his head, just like that video game. No marks on him whatsoever, which could possibly mean that they went straight for the neck, which means it wasn't an accident. He was taking that on purpose, yo. Because people don't use those type of moves on people unless they're putting you down or they playing. And I doubt they were playing, y'all. I doubt it. But how in the world does this pop up? Now, let me tell y'all what popped up when I put who was the people who took out Nolan Wells. Was the people who took out Nolan Wells younger? It was mixed in there. As if possible, but leaning more toward the older people because 113 popped up, which means that's a lie. It's the younger guys that did it. But I want y'all to think about this for a second. My understanding, I don't know if it's true or not, but Bart, I think, is older than the other ones are. He went to, I believe, college a year before them. So they could still make him up there with the older. You know what I'm saying? Let's keep going, y'all. I just find this odd right here when you put was the people who came to the ILLED. Nolan Wells older, 187 twice. The island says 187. It happened on that end of the island on the west end. 187 popped up on that when I put that in. Now, the 158 day with 180 days left in the year, that's the day that Nolan Wells passed. I don't find that just a coincidence, y'all. And if you think I'm lying, look right here. The year 2026 has 365 days. July the 4th, 2026, Saturday. 185th day of the year with 180 days left. Somebody older than Nolan and probably his little crew did this to him. We got to think about the 4th. We got to think about this was a special holiday for people that think this is a special holiday. 250th birthday, all that. They really planned for this. And this was huger than the rest. So it wasn't just, younger people there. It was a lot of older people that get rowdy and rough and do whatever they want. And you know what I'm saying? They were there too, y'all. And probably the older people that had their little kids or whatever, they probably came out there early in the day and they left. When the action took place, it was probably later on. And that's when it makes sense when it said Nolan was T-O-R-T. You know what I'm saying? Torch of the church. Y'all remember that popped up? What are the odds of this, y'all? 185, 180. What are the odds of that popping up together? Ask yourself that question, y'all. 187 twice. Who are Nolan Wells' friends protecting? I put that in as well. And I want you to pay attention to 137 popped up again. This number kept popping up. 360s come up. Okay? But it all equals 399. 399. Who are Nolan Wells' friends protecting? 399. I put that in, y'all. Monarchy, Predator popped up. Okay? Occultist popped up. I keep telling y'all, this is tied to something dark. For you to get a kid out there on an island, and if they took him out, because I feel like they did, because people say, how do you know something happened? Because they're protecting stuff too much. That's why. Because they won't even release the autopsy report to even the lawyer and tell them what happened, or the parents say what happened. They live in that community. Y'all can't give them no answers. Y'all giving them the runaround. This seems like this was done on purpose. Occultist is equals 399. Bart Starr equals 399. Ain't one of the little ones named Bart? And he's supposed to be the star athlete because his daddy was an athlete and they say he's pretty good. He's supposed to be a star too, right? Star Bart popped up under who are Nolan friends protecting? Bart Star. I said, that's interesting for that to pop up. Bart Star. Um, red rum equals $3.99. So Bart Star's red rum, is that what they're protecting? I don't know. Tupelo, Mississippi also popped up. And remember, I told y'all that there was a reunion. There were a lot of college students there, people that probably went to grammar schools together and high schools together, that graduated and went to different colleges. They were all there. It was a reunion for so many people. So many, all different ages of people were there. Y'all, reunion came up there. Tupelo, Mississippi came up there. Is somebody from Tupelo, Mississippi going to be a part of this? I'm just asking y'all. Beast mode equals $3.99. Mariners, or whatever that. This popped up. First thing popped up in my mind when I seen Mariners or whatever this is. I thought about two things. I thought about, the Army, Marines. And that popped in my head because I was like, Nolan family member has people in the Army. Somebody in their family passed away that was in the Army. And Obama came and spoke at the funeral. Okay, we found that out. Then there's another family member that's in the Army. Okay, y'all? I thought about that and I was like, that's interesting that they got Army ties and Mariners popping up. There's also, I believe, a football team that's called Marinos. I don't know if it's baseball. No, I don't think it's baseball. Football team. And I think that Bart is a football player, right, y'all? I'm not sure, y'all. I think he is. But that popped up, and I was like, that's interesting for $3.99 for the pop up under there as well. But anyway, y'all, let me know what y'all think in the comments section. This was deep right here. This was really, really deep. I had to jump on here and post this up. Another thing I wanted to say was the people who K to the I to the LLED, Nolan Wells, older. When I put that in, it equals 425. It also equals 178 and 187. Now, guess what 425 equals also? Lights out, y'all. Lights out. Deceiver. So did Nolan Wells have older friends that could have deceived him too? I'm just saying. Was him and Bart friends? I don't even know. If they were on the same boat together, were they friends or was he pretending to be his friend? I don't know. I have no idea. But we trying to figure it out. We're going to figure it out together. Bruce Lee also equals 425. Remember, I told y'all, haven't y'all noticed that everybody that's getting into altercations with people and stuff like that, when we putting in their name and numbers and stuff like that in Gematria, Bruce Lee or karate or stuff like that is popping up, people that want to show off their moves and stuff like that, just like Carmelo Anthony, those twins went to school for, judo and all this stuff. Same thing. Same stuff. The Bruce Lee stuff popped up as well, equals 425. The same as was the people who took out Nolan Wells older. Yeah. Then purple, the color purple also popped up under that. Purple equals 425 as well. Y'all, wow. Wow. That's all I can say. I was like, things that's popping up, just putting in a little stuff, and then just by this person coming out. And a lot of people is discrediting this person already. Like, you are lying because, and I did hear Ben Crumpton when he did that little big old thing to act like he was finna really release some autopsy stuff. When he came out, he definitely said that there was no bruisings outside of the red mark on the back and the neck missing. No bruising on the body. So this is why a lot of people is putting off the fight. It still could have been a fight. It still could have. They might have just not hit him in areas. Think about this. He going out there on the island with his friends. F y'all. Okay, because I know the lawsuits is flying. And I'm just trying to dissect the situation, okay, y'all? But F y'all. They took Nolan out there. And they would have found his body and they would have had all of those beats and bruising on there. They would have knew off the top that They broke him off out there on that island. Right? It would have made the friends look really, really bad that he was left out there beat up to a pulp. But now it's a mystery. Just no bruising on it. So off the top, people gonna think that somebody is lying if they come out and say they jumped him. This person that's coming out is saying Nolan was jumped after that phone was taken. Right after his phone was taken, he was jumped. And if that's the case, did it happen right there in that spot? Because if it did, all of those people that was surrounded was watching. We saw all those people all looking. Or did somebody lure him? Then that's when the thought situation comes in. As far as my concern, as far as the Gematria, okay? Is this how they lured him to the West End? And when you put in that West tip, it says 187. This is where it happened at, on that end down there. Everybody else is all, and this is why people is getting confused. Like, oh, this couldn't have happened. This couldn't have happened on, it was too many people out there. It could if they took them all the way to the West tip, and everybody else in the middle. Whatever on that West tip. Whatever they feel like doing, they doing out there. And they're getting away with it. Ain't no police, ain't no security, ain't nobody out there to stop them from doing nothing that they're doing. Now, remember, Nolan was the one at first that was stopping fights. And this is why I say it's so important to watch the company you keep. Because eventually, they turn on you. If you see they turning on each other, they'll turn on you too. And I don't understand why a lot of these kids are smart book wise, but street wise, ain't nobody teaching them nothing. Ain't nobody teaching them nothing, y'all. And then we have some kids that you're teaching them something and they just hard-headed and won't listen until it's too late. But I don't feel like they were even teaching Nolan anything. Because if he was going out of town on trips with his friends and you didn't even meet him, this could have been another case of Shanquilla Robinson. They went out of town and they came back and he didn't come back. You at least need to know who he's going out of town with. So you can have an idea of who, you know what I'm saying, to bring that heat to if some shoulda hits the fan. You ain't even introducing yourself to his friends that leaving cars at your house and everything. I keep telling y'all, it's not just about the kids. It's not just about, the community and this and that. It's about the parents too. It's a lot of weirdness going on with them as well. You're just popping out babies. I think they got about 4 or 5 kids, right? You're just popping out babies and you're not in their life at all. And look what's going on now. They look like they on tour. They're going from city to city, state to state now. Your kids is going through a hard time. They just lost their brother. And y'all running the street. What good is it going to do? I don't, that's the part I don't understand. And people are like, oh, you just being mean. No, I'm not. If I got 5 kids and we just lost one, my other baby's going to be stuck to me. I'm going to be seeing to them, making sure that they're good, that they're getting through this hard time. You think that they ain't seeing Nolan's name all over the place, all over the internet, all over the TV? You don't think they are affected by this? And they're running the streets. For what? For what? They don't got to hold Ben Crump's hand for him to do his job. Go home and see to your kids and let the lawyer do his lawyering. You know what I'm saying? Let the money that you done collected from everybody do what it's supposed to be doing. Private detectives, whatever you need. Whatever you need them for. That's what you're supposed to be going through. Not for you to be paying for you to go on trips to speak and say, don't ask me that question. Don't this, don't that. Don't say that to me. Don't this, that. It's just stupid to me that you are on every channel, every station, and those babies left to just fend for themselves. or whoever watching them. I'm sure they got family members that's probably watching them and stuff, but it ain't nothing like your parents seeing to you. And to be honest with y'all, it looks like Nolan mama is getting irritated. She getting irritated. It looks like Ben Crump is getting irritated. Because it looks like he didn't bit off of more than he can chew right now. I think that his career is going to take, I'm just saying, y'all, it might take a hit. And I told y'all, this could go either way. This can go to a point where, Mississippi get called out for being, a race to the sis, which they've been for years. And nothing gets done. Or it's a possibility that somebody might get arrested. But we are talking about higher and higher places. Most likely a judge is going to know other judges. Most not likely police is going to know other police and sheriffs and this and that. All of this shitika is tied together, y'all. And the odds is stacked up against them right now. It really is. It's stacked up against them. We got so many people coming out saying different stuff. But sometimes when some people come out and say something, it stands out different than what other people are saying. And right away, like I said, this new witness just came forth and said what they said. I was like, wait a minute, y'all. Don't be so quick to say, oh, she's lying because there was no bruising. No. We'll talk about white boys. We'll talk about people that's smart enough to be like, nah, if we bruise his face up, we all go into jail. But if they don't know why he passed, no bruisings, no kind of idea of this and that and that and this, we possibly can get away with this. They threw him in the water to make it look like he drowned. But from my understanding, there was no water in his lungs. But we don't know. We don't know because they didn't hear the autopsy now. Yeah, this is a mess. But anyway, I have to jump on here and say something about this new person because I know people who's going to be like, oh, she lying. She lying. She might not be lying, y'all. Or he. I don't know if it's a boy or girl that just came forth. But yeah, I don't think they lying. I don't think they lying. It's a possibility. This story, we done heard it twice. That Nolan was jumped. If you want to throw a story off and he was jumped somewhere, if the place was the island where he passed away at, why wouldn't somebody lie and put up a lie and say, oh, didn't that story come from out of town? Somebody posted up put up a fake account and said Nolan was beat up. Y'all remember that? That was coming from out of town too. So how do we not know that it just seemed like they got this tracker, they got all kind of stuff. Okay, you can change your location, all that stuff. This could have been somebody in that inner circle that wanted to throw the scent off of Horn Island and make it look like it happened at somebody's house. If you got all these different stories out there, everybody confused, right? Makes sense that somebody would lie and say it happened somewhere else when it really happened, but it happened on that island. Y'all, let me know what y'all think in the comment section. Please like, share, and subscribe if you like this video. And thanks for watching, y'all. Peace.